Hey everyone. Sometimes the most profound lessons come from the most unexpected places. Today, we're actually digging into a sixth grade English assignment that, believe it or not, might just hold a huge secret to empathy and grace. It's all built on this simple but really challenging idea that our first impression, it's almost never the whole story. So let's dive in and see how this all works. So, let's just start with this question right here. Seriously, how much do we really miss in a single glance? I mean, think about it for a second. Every single day, we're making these snap judgments about people, about situations. But what if that initial take, that first glance, is just fundamentally incomplete? And that question, well, it leads us right to the core of this whole lesson, understanding the true power of perspective. The whole thing starts with this big idea that our own point of view just by itself is never the whole story. Okay, let's make this real. Imagine a basketball player missing a crucial shot at the buzzer, right? One person in the stands might just see failure, plain and simple. But someone else? Maybe they see the insane amount of pressure that player was under. A teammate might see the incredible hustle that even made that shot possible in the first place. See, it's not that one view is right and the others are wrong. Nope, it's that each point of view adds another layer, and that's what turns a simple story into a complete one. Okay, so how do we actually learn to see more deeply? I mean, that's the real challenge, isn't it? Well, this lesson proposes a framework it calls a radically different view. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about making a conscious decision to look beyond the surface level, to try and see what's really going on with someone. I mean, we all know how the world loves to label people, right? It's a quick shorthand. It's efficient, maybe, but man, is it incredibly limiting. And this lesson suggests there's a fundamentally, completely different way to see people. And wow, this table really shows that contrast starkly. The conventional view at the time, well, it labeled entire groups of people. If you were sick, you were seen as cursed. If you were poor, you were seen as a failure. Outcasts, they were just people to be avoided. But this lesson, it introduces a totally different lens. It reframes the sick as people deserving of healing, the poor as valued and worthy, and outcasts as individuals who need to be included and loved. It's a radical shift, a complete 180 from judgment to grace. A really cool detail from the source material is how this perspective was actually taught. It was often done through parables, these short, fictional stories. But here's the thing, they weren't just fun little tales. No, they were designed to be like lenses, tools to help people literally shift their viewpoint and start seeing the world through the eyes of love and compassion. And this whole perspective shift is captured just perfectly in this quote. Listen to this. When others see weakness, he sees courage. When others see the outside, he sees the story still unfolding inside. Wow, I mean, it's a call to look past that surface and recognize the potential. And yeah, the hidden struggles inside of every single person. Okay, so that's the core principle. But, it's one thing to talk about these ideas in the abstract. It sounds great, right? But how do we actually apply this perspective in our own lives, like today? Well, the next part of this lesson is all about turning that principle into real, actual action. And the lesson doesn't shy away from this question at all, because let's face it, it's one thing to appreciate an ancient idea, but it's a whole other ballgame to actually live it out in our messy, complicated world today. So to make this really practical, the lesson offers a simple 3-step process. Step 1 is just to identify the unseen. Think of someone who might feel misunderstood or overlooked. Step 2 is to choose understanding. That means making a conscious choice to look beyond that surface level judgment. And then step 3, and this is the most important part, you have to act with empathy. You show that understanding and grace in your actions. It's a really straightforward, but man, a really powerful formula for actually practicing empathy. So this whole process, it really boils down to one guiding truth that the lesson calls seeing like he sees. And the definition is simple. It's about honoring God by seeing others the way he sees them, with truth, with grace, and with hope. That's it. That's the ultimate goal of this whole exercise. All right, let's zoom out for a minute for our final section here. You might be wondering, why teach an English class this way? Well, it's because this lesson isn't just about literature. It's actually about revealing a much broader educational philosophy, one that's guided by a moral compass. And right at the heart of this philosophy is this really powerful question. What's the point of being smart and supposedly educated and continuing to make bad choices that hurt? Wow. I mean, that really forces us to ask, what's the real purpose of education? If it doesn't build character, what is it even for? So this philosophy, it really presents two different views on education. On one side, you've got knowledge alone. This just focuses on what you know. And yeah, that can lead to really smart people who still make hurtful choices. But on the other side, you have knowledge plus morality. And this approach, it's all about who you become. The goal is to build not just intellect, but real character and wisdom. And the ultimate goal of all this, it's to cultivate what the source material calls a spiritual mind, and it actually references Romans chapter 8 here. And the promised result of developing this kind of empathetic mindset, it's not just about having better relationships with other people. It's about finding a deeper sense of inner peace for yourself. So we're going to leave you with this final, powerful thought from the lesson. Just think about this. What if the true goal of learning isn't just about being right, but about learning how to love better? Something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining us for this one.